Listen up, Vegas. Welcome to the Slaughterhouse. Perfect!
Good afternoon from Australia. What time is it over there where you are, Chad?
It is 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Right. Yeah, I don't do afternoon streams very often. It's usually very early morning, so it's weird to say good afternoon for a change. But yeah, thanks for jumping on. We've got a couple of people here already. Rolando, hello, buddy. And Johnny, currently listed at 130 AUD on eBay for pre-orders already. Oh, that's madness. Madness. What are people doing? It's crazy. Oh, and we've got Gaz joining us as well. Hello, Gaz. You're muted.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Gaz?
Hey.
Scuba Pete's also in the house. How are you, Pete?
Very cool.
So I did a little while ago, I did a video called Scalpers Paradise, and how Mattel Creations was basically a breeding ground for hey Phil, what's up? I sent you the link if you want to join us, Phil. It's in the chat. Come and join us. Join us. Don't worry about putting pants on. None of us did.
Nope. Gaz.
Nope.
So I did one called Scalpers Paradise, and basically it was talking about how Mattel Creations is breeding this sort of website where people who have the time and the effort and the bots and the all sorts of internet crazies to be able to do it, to snap up all of these exclusives and then instantly throw them onto eBay. And apparently it's happening as we speak, because apparently there's a Grizzlor for $130 UADs, dollary dues. Scott Hughes is in the house. How are you, Scott? Yeah, so I thought probably the fair thing to do now is to do a follow-up on that, and call it Collector's Paradise. Is it now Collector's Paradise now with this whole made-to-order situation? So basically what happened was Grizzlor was announced as coming back as a Mattel Creations exclusive, which was already going to be a head-scratcher for a lot of people, right? And then when that was announced, I was like, oh, man, how are we going to get one? People that couldn't get first of all, personally, and I mentioned this before, I haven't really had a negative experience with Mattel Creations. I've been able to get everything that I wanted to pre-order from there, and thankfully, so far, Grizzlor is no exception. But for a lot of people, they weren't able to get a lot of these, like the Savage He-Man, Wonder, the Kendar, so forth and so on. Sergeant Slaughter, which is the first time that I actually dealt with Mattel Creations from memory, was when I went to get the Sergeant Slaughter Ultimate Edition Sarge. And I got both of them, the black card and the blue card version. So far, so good for me. But a lot of other people are missing out. And so, yeah, we basically got all good. We basically got the situation is that now it's made to order, and essentially, if you want, you can grab one. You can grab one right now. So if I'll share screen. Chad, you got to bounce real quick?
Yeah, I'll be right back. Sorry for
all right, buddy. Go.
Be right back, gentlemen.
We'll see you soon.
Right back.
So they're on there now for everyone to get, and somebody's selling it for like $150 on eBay.
let me just 150, 130 AUD. How much is that in American? That's got to be closer to 200.
So it's an $18.
No. Sorry, American. That'd be less. It'll be about $100.
So it's $18 on pre-sale on Mattel, and somebody's selling it for $100.
I know. So the way that it went, I'll explain the situation a little bit better now. Grizzlor came out as going to be a pre-order here at Mattel Creations. They had an initial opening pre-order, which was, I suppose, the stock that they had in hand. So if you were lucky, you could get one soon. But then they announced a made-to-order option, which will ship on or before July 31st of next year. Now, that in there lies the question, is this a benefit or a detriment to collectors? Personally, I think it's a benefit.
Oh, heck
Because,
yeah.
I mean, if you miss out on the initial order, then you're not going to get one unless you go through this made to order option. So it's either you don't have one at all, which sucks, or you'll get one eventually by July 31st. So yeah.
And this is going to be.
Never mind your opinions having an opinion, but he hasn't finished it yet. Let's hear it. Let's hear the rest of it. Thanks for joining us on your first live. But never mind my opinion. Let's hear your opinion. I'd love to hear it.
My opinion? I think this is great. This is cool. This is what is it? How long is it going to be up till?
I believe it's just for this weekend.
Just for this weekend? Yeah. I mean, unless you don't hear about it, I guess it would stink for missing out on it. But I mean, if they're going to take as many as possible for this, then this is great for you Motu fans.
It is Saturday 9th through to the 10th of the 9th. You guys do weird, the way you guys do your months and days is weird. All right, so September 9th through to September 11th at 11:59 p.m. You can order one right now. Right now it's up here. It's available all weekend until 11:59 p.m. of Sunday.
Or you could go on eBay and get one for $54.51. Buy it now.
Yeah, or you can buy one now for $130 AUD. Come back when you're ready, Chad. It's all good, my friend.
This is cool.
It's mind-boggling that people will put one up. So obviously, the people that even have these up on eBay now, they don't have them in hand either.
No, they clearly say pre-sale on them. It's just hilarious.
Right. Yeah, so they may have gotten the initial. I think it was originally you could only on the initial pre-order you could only pre-order 3. But for this made to order, you can pre-order as many as you want. You can pre-order 100 if you want to, I suppose.
It doesn't have a limit at all?
I don't believe so. I was able to pre-order 3, one for me, one for Brendan Haley, and one just to keep in the box, because the boxes are so cool. Like, I like to open up all of mine, but these particular ones come with a really cool box, and the card itself also has some really cool art on it. So I really want to. I don't ordinarily keep them, but these ones I do like to keep in the box. So I've got 3 coming. But yeah, if I want to, I can go and order another 50 more. It doesn't matter. Anyone can. So, it all goes down to whether or not you can wait until July 31st. For me, I'm happy to wait till July 31st as opposed to buying it for $130 right now.
Yeah, but you're still not getting it right now.
And I still have to wait until whenever it is that the initial orders are out. I don't know. I think the initial orders that dropped, the initial orders dropped at 2 a.m. here. So every other time that I've wanted to get something, I've had to be up at 2 a.m. in order to pre-order it. But this time, I decided, you know what? I've got a live stream in the next morning. That stream's going to be very early. I don't want to stay up until 2 and be even more tired the next morning. I'm going to risk it and try the made-to-order option, right? Because it doesn't matter to me personally if I get it in a few months or if I get it in 12 months. It doesn't matter either way to me personally. But being up at 2 a.m. though is a problem. So what is that, 12 p.m. for you guys? Ken says up at 2 a.m. Good thing none of your friends asked you to stream at that time, right? I think Ken was already streaming at 2 a.m. that time. And I've done it before, Ken. So, so never mind your opinion. Says, was saying it was my first live. Anything that takes the power off scalpers is a good. Yep, it's good with me. It's all about what I used to love, nostalgia. So I'd like to get my figs. Yeah. So the option is there for you to get it. Now, I mean, there's an argument to be said that they should just make them available in stores. Well, let me tell you guys, I'm not finding them in stores over here in Australia, at least not very easily. And I think people take for granted that back in the day, we didn't know what was coming out at any given moment. The way that we found out, oh, Nolan's in the house. Channel member Nolan, how are you, buddy? The way that we found out what toys were coming out was either the catalogs or we just found it on the shelves one day and they were new right in front of our faces. So a year from now, that seems like, all right, that's a turnaround I'm willing to wait for. When they announce other figures, sometimes they're 6 to 12 months away. Other waves of Masters of the Universe. I mean, how long were they saying that we were going to get the comic Trap Jaw for? That was talked for ages, and that's only just been shown as pre-orders available now. So these things take time. I don't know the ins and outs of toy making, but I still think this is a win. It's a win. It's a win for people that want to get one for this window. Anyway, after this window, I'm not sure.
So this is a fairly popular figure, I'm assuming. Why haven't they just released it in the regular line?
Well, that is a good question. So he did get released previously, slightly different deco in a multi-pack, also on Mattel Creations. Why he is a Mattel Creations exclusive again, I don't know. But if you've got, so at the moment, each wave of Masters of the Universe Origins is usually 4 figures. Mm-hmm. You get 4 figures per wave, and at the moment, what they're doing is they're putting in a bad guy, a good guy, and then 2 from the what's it called, the Sons of something, figures that weren't part of the original Masters of the Universe line, but the Legends of the Sun, I think they're called. So, I don't know where they would have slotted him in. So I imagine that if an opportunity came to slot Grizzlor into a wave, it wouldn't be for another year anyway, the way that these come out. So, I mean, there's nothing to even say that they won't bring one out, but who knows? A ridiculous $150 pack was the blackface variant Grizzlor. Yeah, and it came with 2 of the guards, like the robot guards, the Eternian. No, what are they called? Horde guards? The robot ones. Came with 2 different colored ones of those and a Hordak, if I believe correctly. Part of me misses the surprise of walking into a store and seeing something for the first time with no previous knowledge. But of course, I'm also not 7 years old anymore either. Yeah. I mean, we're adult collectors here complaining about where we can get our toys from. It's madness. I had someone make a comment recently saying that these aren't on the shelves for kids to find, right? Which is true. And the reason why they're not on shelves for kids to find, the ones that are coming to retail, is because we adult collectors are snapping them all up. Kids can't get into this stuff because we won't let them. We won't let them get into it because we'll buy them all.
That's very true. That's very true, yes.
Horde Troopers, yeah, okay. Wonder why they don't make the order window at least a week, so given the long lead time. Well, that is a good question too. But I know that I've pre-ordered them or made to order them 3, and they charged me for every one that they did. So it's not like you can just create a ridiculous amount and then say, I'll pay whenever, right? If you order 100, you're paying for 100, and then eventually you're going to get that 100. Mm-hmm. But I guess it all comes down to, I don't know, whatever Mattel Creations thought was an appropriate time frame they made. I mean, the alternative, because this is the first time they've ever done it, the alternative is they don't do it at all, I guess. I would be interested to know why Mattel Creations came up with that window of a weekend, though. Because if you come into the late, you're not going to find one. However, having said that, if you come into a line late, ordinarily, you're not going to pick up these figures unless you get them from the aftermarket anyway, right?
I'm assuming there was a pushback because this guy wasn't he coming in the set and that was the only way you could get him? Originally, yeah. So there must have been a big pushback, so they wanted to release him singly. And to do a made for order means that for like a weekend means they could get 1 million orders for these, possibly.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. And because there's no limit, There's no purchase limits for this
Hmm.
whole weekend. So yeah, they could get upwards of millions of made to order orders, or pre-order, as they've said here, pre-orders, right? They could get a million of them, or whatever. I think this is a good. I think it's a good show of good faith to the collectors that are trying to use Mattel Creations who aren't scalpers. And so maybe it's just a test window and to see how they can manage with a windows of this magnitude of just the weekend, to see how they can manage that. Because I imagine it would still be a lot of, and having it as a no purchase limit. Come on, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of bad news originally, because Mattel Creations sent out, first of all, Nolan. Yeah, that's rough. I don't know what that is in Aussie dollary dues, but yeah, it's still cheaper than 130 AUD, which is crazy. But so there was a tweet that went out from Mattel saying that these pre-orders for the made-to-order window were only going to be for Canada and the USA.
Oh,
And
really?
so, thankfully, though, that was not the case. I don't know whether or not that was just an accident or whether that was a misinformation. Someone messed up, but they retracted that tweet, and I was able to pre-order. I almost hit up everybody I knew in the USA and Canada going, oh my God, please help me. But yeah, no, they've opened it up. I was able to pre-order without any fuss. Hopefully they don't cancel any of these made-to-order orders that are international. But had they done that, though, then yeah, that would have been a catastrophe. Opening up the hand to collectors just to close a fist and say, no, not happening for you international guys. But thankfully I was able to. But yeah, I don't know. What do you reckon? What do you reckon, Gaz?
Well, I think this is good for Motu collectors, people that won't have an opportunity to get it.
So Scuba Pizza is not a fan of the charge you now rather than when it ships. Learning bad habits from Hasbro. Yeah. I like the way that Big Bad Toy Store do it, where you can pre-order and then pay when it shows up. I think that's a good idea, personally. Paying for it now or paying for it later on an item doesn't bother me personally, but I do prefer the way the Big Bad Toy Store do it. But I think a lot of things in Australia where I pre-order, I have to at least have a deposit. So I recently got the His Tank and Baroness, the Megatron one. I had to pre-order that through EB Games here, and I had to put a deposit on it anyway. So it wasn't like it was like no money. So, for me, I don't care. If I'm gonna buy it anyway, whether I pay for it now or pay for it later, I'd rather it not. What did they ping me for shipping? That's a good question. Let's find out. Let me take a look for you, Phil. I'll tell you what my total cost was. Let me just look that up. So, PayPal, Mattel. So my total for 3, and I don't know what the postage was, but the total I paid for 3 and postage came to $81. So whatever that is. But I guess I can take a look on here and tell me, right? So give me a sec. I'll jump on. Pre-order.
So 81 and some change is what you paid?
Yeah, for 3 of these and postage. That's in Australian dollars, though.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I'm going to just check my cart and see how much it'll cost me live for if I were to pre-order another one. The things I do for you, Phil. No, I'm not going to bother putting it. Phil, I've retracted that statement. I'm not going back in there because I can't trust myself. I can't trust myself not to put another one in my cart and buy it. But it came to, yeah. So if they're $20 AU, I was able to get 3 for that much. I think that's pretty good.
It's not bad.
But, yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. But well, now I've lost that page. Let's check out eBay and see what we can currently find Grizzlor going for. Just in Australia, I suppose. eBay. Grizzlor.
I just saw them. They're like 54 and up for a pre-sale.
Jesus.
That's just crazy.
Origins. Oh, geez. Okay, let me share screen. Settings. Nope, that's not it. What is this on here? Great. Now this isn't working for me. Technical difficulties. Oh, there it is. All right, share screen. All right, check this out. So we've got anywhere. Can you see it? Yeah.
Yep.
3 figures plus shipping is 81 AUD. Correct. That's what it cost me. $81 AUD for 3 figures and shipping. Considering how much they cost at retail here, getting 3 figures for under $100 is actually pretty good for Australia. That's not bad, including shipping. Yeah. For me, yeah. But if we $73, you can buy it now. 131. I mean, good on them for giving it a crack, right?
I like how they put it. I like how they put it. Buy it now, and it's the pre-sale.
Yeah, this one's pre-sale confirmed, so you can have it for 102. Someone bid on this one. Oh, from the UK. The UK postage is 56 to Australia. Guys, getting anything sent to Australia is mad. It's madness. $57 for this one. $54 bid. Someone's bidding on these. Someone bid $54 on this already. Buy it now for $150 plus $88 postage from Germany. $110, $128. At least they use a cool photo for this one. Actually, this one says pre-sale on it. So does that mean that's not the pre-order? That's the pre-sale?
That's probably just probably put that instead of pre-order.
Confirmed order. So this one's confirmed for this guy. And the crazy, I want to know if any of these have sold. 124. It's crazy.
There's 12 watches on that one.
Right? $182. Buy it now for this one. But look at the thumbnail on this picture, though. So, he's put a little bit of extra effort in. That's what you're getting, guys. I like that they're still going to sting you with the postage anyway. It's like, if anyone here has free postage, that.
Oh, I was going to say.
Oh, that's the PowerCon one. That's the one that originally came out that had Grizzlor. Let's take a look. This one's coming from Germany. So this one came with the original Grizzlor for Origins. So when they first made it, it had a darker face. 2 of these robot-y guys and Hordak. And currently, somebody wants 839 Australian dollars, which in euros, oh man, our Aussie dollar sucks. Anyway. Oh, you didn't see what I was looking at, did you? I had the wrong screen on.
Yeah, didn't shove it up.
Oh, well. That's what we get for not knowing what we're doing. All right. So, yeah, I don't know. For me, I didn't want to get up at 2 a.m. Yeah, Nolan, that was my bad. I was showing a different screen to the one I was sharing and talking like I was showing everybody. Yeah, my bad. But I didn't want to get up at 2 a.m., guys. So I took a risk. Like, I knew it was coming. I saw the countdown. I knew the risk that there could be an issue with not getting it, but I decided to take that risk. And my order went through. So I don't know. Is it a scalper's paradise anymore? I don't think so.
No, I don't think it is anymore.
So I guess the best case scenario would be that these would come available to retail, right, where people can buy them off the shelves. But let me ask you guys, how often do you get to see any of these characters on store shelves that aren't just He-Man and Skeletor? Because I see basically just He-Man and Skeletor everywhere. I don't see a lot of the other characters. Ken sent me most. Oh yeah, I can see them over there. Ken sent me most of those guys in that cabinet right now because I wasn't able to find them here. So,
well, I honestly haven't stepped foot in a Target or Walmart in the last few weeks, but before that, it's usually just Skeletor, He-Man, maybe an odd figure here and there.
Chris says, "Oh, welcome to the Slaughterhouse, Chris. By the way, I don't know if I said hello to you when you first came in. Hello, Chris. So, in his opinion, 56 USD is good. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Ken's in the house.
Yo, gentlemen, how are you?
Hey,
Yeah, good. So, where do you sit on this whole pre-order, made-to-order situation, Ken? Are you pro or con?
Oh, did I go into the wrong chat? I thought we were here to talk WrestleMania memories. Shoot.
I'm going to bring him back in when he decides he actually wants to participate. All right, come back. Yeah, so what's your opinion, Ken? Are you for or against?
That was Ralph's fault. The whole thing. It's always Ralph's fault.
blame the Muppet.
Well, I mean, and you two chatted about it a bit earlier, and there was a little bit of the confusion about why Grizzlor has to be a Mattel Creations exclusive, where it's basically a mainline figure, is a little bit weird. So, I mean, made to order is great quantity wise, and to kind of get around the whole scalping thing.
Yep.
So for that reason, I think it's absolutely great. At the same time, it's why can't we just have these on store pegs, just like everything else, right? I understand the blackface Grizzlor, just as I understand the Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander having to be with the Hiss tank, but this is not a chase figure. This is like, going into and just being like, okay, well, oh, you know what? An example was people couldn't find like the Earthrise, Thundercracker, and Skywarp on Transformers Earthrise. Like those were mainline figures, but for whatever reason, that was exclusive to, I think, Target or something, right? And eventually, I think they made more quantities later, but at least that one you had the chance to go pick them up from store pegs. This one, I don't quite understand it. They better do a mass release later on, or at least I hope they do. Hopefully, it's just a limited time situation like this. I don't know.
I just don't want to deal with adult asshole scalpers. I don't want to deal with anyone.
Yes, that part is definitely good about this whole situation. Like that's the most positive thing about the whole thing.
There's a store. I've mentioned this before, right? There's a store near where I live that have a shopping mall that has a collectible store in it. And that collectible store will go to the retail stores that are in the same complex, buy up all the stuff that comes out straight away, and then sell it in the same complex for 2 or 3 times the amount. So if they do, by some miracle, bring out Origins at our local store, usually the store that gets it is Big W or Toy World. But if they do get them, I guarantee you I won't see them on the store shelves. I'll see them at this other secondary place who's managed to nab them at opening hours to sell them for 3 times as much.
And that's it's really obvious when stores do that. Like I've seen stores here in my area do that as well. And that's when you just walk up to them and say, look, I'm going to pay you a finder's fee. But this is really against what the community sees as being okay. It used to be that in Canadian dollars, back when I'll just use the example of WWE Legends figures, when they were $29.99 here, again, that's Canadian dollars, it was $33 to $34 after tax. A lot of times somebody would say, if you find it, I'll give you $40 cash in hand. So you get your finder's fee, you get your gas covered if it costs you anything, and we'll do it that way. You save me the headache. When we see somebody go across the street and put it for $65 or $70, exactly like you're saying, double the going rate, it creates an artificial demand that's more than just a service tip.
Right. Look, I'm gonna give you a hot take. Chat, agree with me or disagree with me if you like. Guys here, agree with me or disagree with me if you like. But I don't want to go into a shopping center and buy toys off of a toy store. I'm an adult. If I want an action figure, I'll get it online, right? Where I don't have to compete with children who should be buying these toys. Right? I'm an adult toy collector, a grown man walking into a toy store to rifle through toys so that I can buy them before a kid can buy them, or a scalper, but a kid should be buying these toys, and me not letting them be able to buy these toys because I want it, because I had it when I was a kid. It just seems a little bit messed up. I want to buy mine online. I want to buy them online so there's no competition. And with this made-to-order option, I feel like it eliminates that competition. I've got to wait a year? Fine. I'll wait a year. It doesn't bother me. But I do know that I won't be standing there hip to hip with a child saying, I'm going to buy this. You can't have it. That's my rant.
Quite honestly, if I'm standing next to a kid and I'm holding a figure and the kid's looking at me, I'm probably giving the kid the figure.
Right, but it shouldn't even be an option, right?
Exactly.
There was one time where I was collecting Star Wars action figures back when they started to come out again, when the movies were being re-released in cinemas. And I really needed a C-3PO, and they had one C-3PO on the shelf, and I'm holding it, and the kid next to me goes, wow, C-3PO, I want a C-3PO. And now I'm standing there as an adult going, oh man, I really need this C-3PO. But this kid wants a C-3PO, so I had to give the kid the C-3PO. How many times can I say C-3PO in one sentence?
Just
Enough times.
hey,
How are you, Hans? Yeah, we
hello chat, just in case.
Are kids interested in Origins Masters of the Universe, though? I don't know. They can't get them, so we're too busy.
Get them, they might be, right?
They might be if we give them an opportunity.
Yeah. Well, I prefer, honestly, nowadays I prefer getting them online. I don't even enjoy the hunt anymore, so I don't go do that. I prefer to get them this way.
There's a lot of anxiety with toy collecting nowadays because you can drive around to many different stores to try and find an exclusive and never find it. And then you've got, I mean, they say the thrill of the hunt or the thrill of the chase, but if you never find it, then what is it all for then? It's all for naught.
Toy shows, that's where it's at.
Yeah, but they're getting them at toy shows because they're toy shows, no offense to the people, Ken, that do toy shows, but you're also off-selling items that could have been on a store shelf, right? You're picking up things off of a store shelf to sell to other adult collectors, right?
It depends. A lot of people do that. If you have a friend who like has an Entertainment Earth wholesale account or something like that, and you say, you know what, you need to top up your order, I'll take a case or I'll take two cases, but that's different. I'm topping up his wholesale order, and I haven't done that in a long while. But I have done that before. Or you buy used collections, but this is different. You're talking like modern, on the store, shelf ready stuff. You're not talking about used collection old stuff where, hey, I needed that whatever.
Stuff's fine. That stuff's fine. Yeah. If you've got vintage stuff that's no longer available to collectors, right? Like original G.I. Joe, original Masters of the Universe, all of those things, you're walking through a toy store or a toy show and you marvel at this stuff because it's like, oh, I used to have that as a kid. Oh, this is great. This is brilliant. But then you walk in there and you've got someone that's got a table of the current available retail releases of action figures, and they're selling them for 2 or 3 times as much. It's just like, come on, man.
Well, that's the thing. Like, even if you find something that's like, let's just say a recent Marvel Legends retro Rogue, because that was a really hot figure, but that was 2 years ago that it was on store shelves. If you find it now, you know, it's not technically vintage, but it's also not in stores. It's in that limbo phase where it was in stores a couple of years ago, but someone's going to need it now because they jumped into Legends late, for example.
Well, that was me. I was running late on the He-Man Origins lines, very late, and you were able to help me with my collection. But as an adult collector, that's how we do things. As an adult collector, if we're going to catch up, we have other means to do it. Kids don't have the same means that we do. If they miss out, they don't know that they've got these other options.
Right.
So Chris Johnson says, I don't want to speak for others, but I can tell you none of my 3 kids were ever interested in toys. Yeah, mine weren't really either. Mine were into and are still into video games. The most they kind of got into was Ben 10. But if they ever showed any interest in my toys, I'd let them play with them. I didn't mind. And yeah, they got broken.
Like the Vinyltech Transformers.
Vinyltech Transformers were dead in the water after I let them play with those. They were long gone after that. Johnny says, would not mind if any of the big 2 did a real direct market line made to sell like any other business ever that has their shit together. The halfway measure is bad limited stock, etc. Yeah, I mean, I think what was it when GI Joe was direct from Hasbro for a while, direct to consumer.
You talking about the Collectors Club?
No, it was. I think it was either before the Collectors Club or simultaneously. But Hasbro was selling GI Joes exclusively through their website for a while.
Yeah, they probably just didn't like Walmart and Target and Toys R Us probably just didn't want to take them. They're just like we can't meet your.
Well, that's really the issue with them being in stores. The fact that those companies aren't buying enough product to put on a show, so they don't have limited space, so they only buy enough to fill that space.
True,
and when it sits there too long, they move it along and put in a discount so they can bring other stuff in.
Yes, yeah. So that's a good point too. It's like it's not always got to do with the toy companies. It's got to do with the people that are holding those toys at retail, whether or not they want to have that kind of space dedicated to it. And the point of that is the toy aisle now is drastically smaller in all of these retail chains than they used to be. And we don't have Toys R Us anymore for a reason. So my girls were into Monster High, I remember those, and my boy was into wrestling toys. Yeah.
Yep. No, it's cool. On the note of that clearance versus sale, I've also heard that like if an item goes on sale, then I've heard that the toy manufacturer makes up the difference for that to make sure that the retailer gets his margin. If an item goes on clearance, then that's the retailer saying we want this out of the way. But if it goes on clearance too often, it also hurts the ability of that toy company to have a certain number of SKUs or pegs for that particular retail line. Again, this is all hearsay and stuff that I've kind of heard behind the scenes. Nothing that I can actually whip out for you as as an exact example. But it's just stuff
you can't whip it out for us, Ken.
Well, my camera's off for a reason. So,
Actually, I'm glad you're here, Ken, because I want to get your perspective on something.
Sure.
Because you were getting the Masters of the Universe classics.
Yes. Yes.
And so with that was a subscription service, right? So you're paying for a subscription to get the figures. How is that any better or less negative than them doing a pay to order item, basically?
Let me add on to that. Do you feel like you were overpriced when you overcharged when you bought those?
Good question. Jim Lago, how are you, buddy? Yeah, it's a good question, Gaz. Very good question.
Yeah, so I have a two-part answer to that. And the first part is that I actually wasn't on the subscription model. I got into Motu Origins and was getting the old Motu Origins that were available on Matty Collector before, but by that point, Motu Classics, not Origins. Motu Classics had already shifted to Super 7, and I was buying the ones that were Matty Collector on the secondary market before the major spike. Like stuff had gone up maybe two times. It hadn't gone up like 5 or 6 times the price like it is now. So, Chad's in the house, so I'll quickly answer the question, and then I will we'll get his hot takes on a few things. So the thing about Matty Collector, when you had a wave of Motu Classics, you had to buy the whole wave. So if there was a figure in there that was something you didn't like, didn't care for, didn't need the third or fourth version of the same character, you had to take it anyway. As for the price, I forget. I think it was $19.99 American, which may have seemed high at the time, but when the stuff's going for $200 or $300 a piece now, it seems pretty low. And at the time, I was very much into Transformers, and a lot of the stuff there was priced in the $14.99 to $29.99, depending on the size of the figure anyway. So $19.99 didn't seem like a big stretch for me, but I think people who were jumping over from the 2000X Motu line, who saw it at big box retail and having to switch to the Matty Collector model, having to pay $19.99, which was more than the price of the 2000X Motu, and having to get an entire wave, regardless of whether you like the character or not. That was like a double kick in the pants. And I heard the Digital River, who was the distribution company, made some mistakes. I don't have any horror stories about what those mistakes are, but I've heard they were pretty poor at distributing stuff. So that's kind of my all-in-one answer on that. So there were some bad sides to it. But in hindsight, when you look at it, the cost was technically low compared to today.
Right. And so with the G.I. Joe subscription service, you're paying for a subscription and you're getting whatever figures that they created. You had no choice. You already bought them. And so those were the figures you were going to get. It wasn't you could pick and choose. Those were the ones you were going to get. At least with Mattel Creations, with this new style that they've implemented. If you want it, you have an option to get it. If you don't, then it's fine. You can let it go. You're not tied into an every month or every few months subscription to it.
Yes.
But yeah, welcome back, Chad. How'd the dance go?
They had a great time. I'm
good.
sorry I had to pop out. It's just a timing thing. So yeah,
No, it's all
my
good.
daughter went to homecoming, and I picked her up, and now she's in her room watching some movie on Prime. I don't know.
Probably Cobra Kai. That's what I'm missing right now. But I'm like, my friends are online. I'm not going to watch Cobra Kai yet.
She binged it yesterday, and I want to say hello to Nolan. I saw he said hi.
Oh yeah, hey Nolan, he's a good guy.
You can always count on Nolan to be in the chat to make sure you're not alone.
Yeah, buddy.
You are not alone.
I knew it.
So
I was teeing you up for that song.
Thanks, buddy. It was too close to Michael Jackson there that I might get copywritten struck
a did.
They would just steal your monetization for this stream. They wouldn't be that mean.
I got a yellow one for yesterday's stream. We went a little bit blue yesterday, so I'm not surprised. So Jim Largo says, is it just me, or does Grizzlor kind of look like an angry Tribble from Star Trek? Well, that's all I'm going to see now. That's all I'm going to be able to see when I see that.
He's very fluffy.
Thanks for hanging out for a bit, Chris. Much appreciated. See you on the next one. Yeah, Chad, let's hear your opinion, buddy. Let's hear your hot take.
On the Grizzlor Mattel thing, or just in general? Because you guys you covered a lot of stuff organically while I was popped out.
Well, start with the Mattel Creations. We'll say a quick hi to Matt from Keep On Collecting.
Hey, Matt.
But yeah, we'll start from the original question of Mattel Creations made to order, and then wherever you want to throw your hat in from there.
I'll throw my hat in right now. There's a lot of layers to that cake, because I think it's kind of cool that they are attempting to sort of right the ship after the Wondar incident.
Right.
And
Mattel's not around these parts. Oh no, that's Keldor.
Mattel's not really known for, I don't want to swear, they're not really known for dropping the ball as far as like pre-orders the way that Hasbro does. But I know they've had a few missteps as well. I think it's cool that they had a window, but the mold's already out. They have the different decoed Grizzlor already out there. So 10 months is a little question mark, but yeah, you guys touched on a lot. Zazel, I was listening to you talk about how, I'm an adult. If I want a toy shop, I don't want to go in a toy store. And I was laughing about that. That was just as I was pulling up in the driveway, and even my daughter's like, what do you mean he doesn't want to go in a toy store? But I think it all kind of folds into the same package that retail, just the word retail, the whole idea of retail space has changed so much. And now, here we are living in the future in 2022. And the way we see toy announcements and rollouts of toys, I mean, granted, this is all first world problems anyway, right? Because they're toys. But
yeah,
the way we see the rollout of these products is not the way we saw the rollout of these products when we were children. Like when we were kids, you had to go in the store or watch a commercial with your Saturday morning cartoons. I don't even know, do they have toy commercials anymore? I don't know. Because I was pondering that on my drive. Right? Like maybe like a, PJ Masks or Paw Patrols or something, but I haven't seen a male action figure line toy commercial in God knows how long. The way we see announcements of toys have changed. So are we seeing announcements on the front end of the window now, and that's why these waits are long? Or is it just because, manufacturers and distribution and the whole retail scheme is just jacked? So I don't really know. A lot of those are like high philosophy sort of discussions. I do know that, yes, I think it's cool they had a window for the Grizzlor. I don't necessarily care if they charge you off the bat or if they charge you later. At least they're not doing the Target thing where they recharge your card every 2 weeks, which
really?
When I pre-ordered I I pre-ordered the Tiger Force and Python Patrols before I just finally said goodbye to Classified and 6-inch scale in general, which I'm totally done with now. And they would charge my card, and then 2 weeks later I'd see another charge, and then 2 weeks later I'd see another charge. I kept seeing the charges. I never saw the refunds, and the bank was like, well, they're not really charging you. And I'm like, well, I'm seeing it come out of my account. And so it just got so sketchy. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna cancel that. So I think that you have the ESRB, you have the MPAA, you have all of these ratings and all of these like standardized procedures and processes and all this stuff. Like, why can't toy manufacturers just figure out a way to do pre-orders where maybe it's like, I don't think it should be regulated, but I think that maybe they could, all these corporate nincompoops could put their heads together and kind of come up with something that like it maximizes their profits while affording collectors and even kids or whoever may want this product to get as many as they want. If you want 2, great. If you want 12, awesome. If you want 0, whatever, then it's just academic at that point. But
yeah,
I also always appreciate the irony of the fact that smaller companies that don't have the overhead to start up will always do a Kickstarter, right? Cool.
Yeah.
That's understandable. But when you look at Hasbro and HasLab, it's an $11 billion company, and they'll do a HasLab because they want that money as much as they can get. They stick it in the bank. They sit on what, $6-10 million for a year. That stuff builds interest. They'll do that for a HasLab, but for a pre-order, the pre-order will go live an hour before the stream where they announce the pre-orders. And when they're sitting on camera, they're like, well, yeah, they sold out because they went live an hour ago and we forgot to tell you. So they care, and then they don't care at the same time. Right. So it's like this diarrhea sandwich, and they're just like all over the place about it. Look, what is that 10-wheeled cool vehicle near your left elbow? That is a Star Wars Clone Wars turbo tank that I G'd up to look like a mobile terror drone.
I'm going to solo screen you now.
Cats.
Solo so we can look at
you can see it over there in the corner. Yeah, so it's got a terror drone cannon on the top of it. I G'd it up on Cobra. So.
Oh, nice.
Sorry. Anyway,
there we go.
Yeah. What's up, Pete?
So I want to point out, it says here, it ships on or before July 31st. So we might see these a lot earlier than July. I think they've given us a pretty fair window, though, just in case, right? And I imagine that window is because they can't anticipate how many they're going to be having to produce. So I do know that when I got the Sarge, which was my first experience with Mattel Creations, that it was said to ship at a much later date. I can't remember the exact date now, but it shipped much earlier than the date that they advertised. I got it in hand much earlier. And the same goes for Wonder. That was pretty much in my front door within a few weeks.
Which is the complete... Sorry.
I was just about to say, it might be 4 or 5 months. That's about it.
Well, we don't know. That's right.
Well, it's a complete converse of Hasbro. Hasbro's like, July? No, we meant November.
Well, that's a possibility too. November of this year would be fine. November of next year, that might be a little bit more rough.
Well, like Chad said, I mean, they already have the scope down because they had put it out previously. Mm-hmm. So why the basically a year wait till it pops out? Because they could just this weekend could go by. They'd have like 1 million pre-sales because everybody's going to get like 100 of them. And then they could just send them. They could just send them into the warehouse, the factory, pop them out, and have them to you within like 3 months.
Well, I have a feeling that that's probably what will happen. Is that they will start with the initial orders, which they probably already have the initial orders ready to go, right? So they'll start sending those off. Then they'll look at how much numbers they've got to work through. If they've got 1 million of these to make, they'll probably break it up into a few batches, right? They'll go, okay, we're going to make this lot, send this lot out. We're going to make this lot, send this lot out. And hopefully they'll have them all sent out by July 31st. But Jim's having an unfortunate time with Santa. Oh, geez.
Santa's sitting up there going, what the hell is a Grizzlor?
Yeah. COVID
What-
related.
what-
And why has this Chad guy ordered like 200 of them?
Do you think there's a similarity between me and Grizzlor? I think I can. I
You're
can see it.
you're much more handsome than Grizzlor.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna say I'm much hairier.
Way
Well,
prettier.
I was gonna say that like it's the whole full moon werewolf thing. Like on most days, Zazel looks like Trigger. When there's a full moon and he becomes a werewolf, then he's Grizzlor.
Grizzlor from then, yeah. I think that's hilarious. Like, COVID-related fake fur shortage. Fake fur
that's,
matters.
that's another thing. Like, I understand there was a pandemic. I have a different perspective on this pandemic than a lot of people because I was deployed in East Africa for that whole thing. So
Right.
when I came back, the world was different. But what I will say is that now everybody wants to blame, there's production shortages and there's these kind of delays and all this stuff. But let's be real.
Yeah.
Somebody's opening the door. Let's be real. This stuff was around before COVID.
Yeah,
It was not
they've got
just
a reason
a
now.
pandemic.
Yeah, it's a scapegoat.
100%.
Does the deluxe Grizzlor winter coat come with Ewok feet slippers? If there was anything that came out of what was it called? The recent thing that we did, Ken. Why is it escaping my mind now? We were on
Streamathon.
no before Streamathon they were talking when we got invited on recently. Iconicon. Sorry, yep, it's back in my head now.
I was gonna say that was like 3 months ago. So when I was thinking that, I'm like, you said recently.
Okay, so it seems like recently, but the one thing that came out of Iconicon was that people started talking about Ewok feet for some reason, and I'm not sure exactly why, but I know it came from there.
Fascination with Ewok feet, huh?
That's a thing. It's a thing, apparently. Zazor is a sort of Grizzlor.
Zazor. Well, we
Waiting
got
and not paying scalpers keeps Grizzy very affordable. Yeah. I get it. Pete's funny. I don't care what you guys say. Pete's hilarious.
Pete's rad.
Wonder was so quick, surprisingly. Yeah, it was a wonder.
I've stolen Pete for a stream next week. Get him before
yes,
Zazel
How
gets him.
can you steal Pete?
Yeah.
Hey, Ken.
How's it
Pete
going?
is Pete.
What's up?
Just a little tired, but I'm like, no, Zazel wants to go online. I rarely ever say no when I have a bit of free time.
Ken, what time is it there?
It's earlier than where it is where you are, but it's
It's not a competition, guys.
No, because
What's
I
that?
would win.
What time have you guys got?
I'm here. It's 12. Well, it's 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock in the morning.
1
It's
a.m. Chad?
10:53 p.m. where I'm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Early.
Ken, what was your?
9:53 p.m.
See?
It's late, huh?
Wow.
Ken's got his travel pillow. He's like, no, I don't want to do this.
I gotta go to bed.
Oh, you guys.
Ken's got a Ralph body pillow. I know it.
Oh, he does.
I don't even have a bed. I just climb into a Ralph suit and I just zip it up. I just zip it up and lay down.
You just fall anywhere.
I will tell you, right? Like a crook tried to break into the house one time, saw a massive dead dog on the floor, suddenly rolled over, and the crook's like, "Fuck it, I'm out of here."
Big old stupid googly eyes. Just like, what the hell is that?
This Transformer collection is not worth that much.
Why is it sticky inside Ralph? That's what I want to know. So Scuba Pete is a national treasure. America's best dad jokes come from Scuba Pete. Yeah, it was great to have Scuba Pete on recently on the show. Good guy. He has a great channel too. Him and the other guys. They
Chasing 80s
recently,
toys.
Is
yeah,
there,
chasing 80s.
I ask you, is there a nicer person
Than
in
Scuba
this
Pete?
community? Yeah. Is
His
there a nicer
wife?
person? I can't think of anybody.
Scuba Pete's
Nicer than
wife's
Scuba.
probably comparable in niceness. What was her name? Mrs. Scuba Pete? I forget her name. Sorry, Pete. That's bad, Zazel.
Leslie? No. No, maybe I'm wrong. I don't want to completely botch it, so I'll stop guessing.
Yeah. But yeah, she's very nice too. But they recently did a collaboration talking about Mask with Tony over at Animal Toys.
That's a great video.
You know, I was watching that yesterday, and I was like, oh, I need to show Pete my 1/18 scale mask toys. So Pete, I'm going to hit you up later and show you those because they were talking
Shout
about,
out
oh,
to
if you're going to
Leslie.
redo masks, do it in 1/18 scale. And I'm like, I did. And they're right there.
Did you all see Ramen Toys?
Oh yeah,
Underhawk.
Underhawk?
Yeah,
or gullwing as they're calling it.
Yeah.
Wow,
Another shout out to Leslie. Sorry, I forgot your name, Leslie. I couldn't remember.
I remembered, but I was only like 50% certain, so I was like, that's why I like said it under my breath.
Is it Scuba Leslie?
Is it
Is it?
So she goes by
Scuba-
Mrs. Scuba
Pete?
Pete, right?
Diver Leslie? She needs a handle all her own.
The boss.
So I think
how about that?
Was that
done.
The
Yeah.
boss. That's what I call my wife.
the boss?
Yep, don't argue. So
Yeah.
the thing about, I'll just jump onto masks for a second. The thing about from that video that I watched, the thing that brought back memories for me is that I forgot that they had that initial short helmet run.
Yes.
I completely forgot about it, and that triggered that memory back in. And because as an adult collector, you think you know the things that you know, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And you think you have a handle on the things that you are collecting and you know about and you grew up with, right? Well, Laser Pants is in the house.
Ooh, what's up, Ryan?
How are you, Ryan?
He only says hi to Pete.
What's up? What's up? I swear they're the same person. They're everywhere together. They're definitely the same person. So the good thing about that video, though, with the mask, was that it gave me that instant hit of not just the nostalgia, but all those memories that I'd lost started to come back, which I think is the best part of being an adult collector or an adult, toy enthusiast or whatever you want to call it, is feeling those instant. It was like almost like butterfly feeling. I know that sounds weird, but I was like watching, going, "Oh my god, yes, I remember that. This is great." But yeah, so thanks to the lads over at Chasing 80s and for the collaboration as well that they did over at Analog Toys.
I saw
Mask.
I saw that ramen one, and I was looking at it, and all I could think about was if I get that, I need to find some little iRock stickers so I can put them on that little trim area below the door.
So what scale is that one?
It's the same scale, I think, as the original.
It's
Isn't it?
regular mask?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
believe so.
Just get their reproduction stickers and fix it
Yeah.
yourself.
Right?
Yeah. Is
What I
Dino
did with
Riders
my,
and Mask?
What's up?
Like, I was just wondering if Dino Riders and Mask were the same scale as far as the figures were concerned. They must be similar, right?
You could ask Phil in the chat because
I was gonna say Phil would know. He just did a collection tour today.
Yeah, which was
Dino
pretty
Phil!
sweet. Yeah.
Phil, measure up your Mask and your Dino Rider figures for me.
Yeah, I don't own any Dino Riders, so I can't.
Well, Phil owns them all. That's
side by
why.
side them.
You know what's weird is Grimlock from Transformers. I never realized how small the vintage one really is.
Oh yeah.
I had that when I was a kid, and I used to use it as Godzilla to my Lego guys, and I would crush my Lego guys. And when I saw it on the shelf at my vintage toy shop, I'm like, "Is that the original Grimlock?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Jesus, that's small. It's small."
So Hans went all in on Gullwing. So you've been calling... No, never mind. He went all in on the Gullwing, and I'll also
he did.
go all on a shark. I don't own
hell
any
yeah.
Mask toys, never did, but I will change this. Oh, yes, I will change this. I was probably the only kid in my class that liked T-Bob.
It's like an R2D2, but he talks.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
going to be honest with you. I kind of like T-Bob too. I think it'd be kind of cool to have a robot
Right?
moped.
As a kid, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sky
Some of their dialogue is a little suspect, though, between Scott and T-Bob there.
Yeah. True.
But still, he's a moped.
Yeah,
Well, this
and they
guy-
stole the Switchblade, so.
This one?
There you go, right there. Look.
Yeah.
that guy right
see?
there.
I loved that when I was a kid. I wanted one desperately, and I was so happy when I got one. Are the eyes always off center? Because every time I see one, they're always off center. Can you move them or? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
different.
Right. Okay.
It does like a Vincent thing from Black Hole.
Yeah, I was just thinking that you could paint him that way, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like
It's got its own sound effects and everything.
It's a
Wow.
Fast and Furious action.
Put a new muffler system on here, okay?
T-Bob's got power.
Kane ain't messing
T-Bob is
around.
not cool. Why would you program a speech impediment into your droid? Fling. Because it's cute, Hans. Because it's cute. What does T-Bob stand for? That's what I want to know. That's yeah.
Totally.
Well,
Bob.
it's like in Terminator. There's the T900, and this one's the T-Bob. I don't know. I just made that up.
It was a T800 and the T1000. Where'd you get T900 from?
He is the T900. So Arnold was the 800, and then T1000 was this. So this was T-Bob, I guess, is the 900.
He's the T900, right? Yeah.
He's in between.
Prototype Terminator. T-Bob, what are you doing?
I will be back. Oh man.
There it is.
Oh, that's for everyone to enjoy. Read that out loud.
Hey.
It's kind of like
Scooter from GoBots. He's
T-Bag,
annoying, but how cool would it be to have?
There was a kids' TV show when I was growing up, and there was two characters in it. One of them was named T-Shirt, and he was the side character to this lady who was like a witch character, and her name was T-Bag. So it got out there for a while.
Wow.
She was probably popular. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Worst cartoon comedy relief, is it T-Bob or Snarf? Well, T-Bob never went around saying T-Bob repeatedly.
T-Bob.
Hey, nailed it.
Yeah. I don't know. I was never really into Thundercats.
Oh, what great film. As much as the cartoons you may or may not enjoy, you cannot deny that Thundercats had a great intro and theme song.
Yeah.
Mark, great theme song and intro. Transformers, great theme song and intro. G.I. Joe. I'm trying to think of one that had a bad intro. Can you think of one? Even Gummy Bears was kind of pretty cool.
I have to go all the way to like Masked Rider in like the mid-90s before I could think of a really bad intro.
No, I'm still talking 80s. That's just 80s stuff.
Yeah.
Masters of the Universe, I guess. I mean, as cool as Masters of the Universe was, it was the same opening monologue. So I guess that could get tiring after a while. But even that, still, it wasn't like bad. But it was just
Ninja Turtles was amazing. Like, you sang that in school.
Here's a hot take.
Because Wheels Warriors was really great.
Yeah.
As far as theme, which one was that? Wing Warrior, yeah. The theme songs, as far as Masters of the Universe is concerned, right? I often get She-Ra's theme song stuck in my head more than I do He-Man's. She-Ra had an awesome theme song.
For me, it's that Filmation thing before it even starts. That xylophone.
Yeah.
That gets me. Yeah, exactly.
I used to always mix up Mask and Gem. I would smash them together. And so I would have like, whoa, Mask is truly outrageous. How did I do that?
It works. Chad, if you do not create that,
it works, right? It works as a mashup, but then when you do it, you're like, oh god, what the hell?
Gem was that cartoon that you just didn't admit you watched.
Right.
But Gem has that theme song where you could be like washing the dishes one day. You're like, Gem is truly out. You just washing the dishes.
Washing the dishes, or do you mean in the shower? Is that what you mean?
I wash my dishes in the shower, Ken. Don't worry about it. You sleep in a Rolf costume on the floor. Yeah, don't sweat it.
Washing the dishes in the shower is genius. It's a genius move.
God damn it. I got a Grimlock sword. I'll use it.
It's bigger than Grimlock. Remember Kid Video, worst cartoon mashup of 80s songs and bad haircuts. I'm not sure if I do remember it. I wonder if that's a regional thing.
Was Kid Video? Was that the? That wasn't the. No, it was Captain N, right?
Captain N, the Game Master. That's
what
you're thinking of. With the controller and the characters didn't quite look like the characters. Mega Man was a little plunky guy, little pudgy guy. Yeah, you're thinking Captain N for sure. I can't think of a really bad cartoon theme opening. Tell you the truth, the fact that I had to pull Masked Rider from 1995 shows how hard it is.
I don't remember.
Smurfs was catchy. Anyone dislikes Smurfs?
He just
with that la 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 humming.
Yeah, la la humming all day long.
Yeah.
What was that?
It's so 80s though. It's perfect.
I think
it's
so.
all 80s. Yeah.
I even get Sesame Street stuck in my head sometimes. You start off with sunny days. Sweeping there. Anyway.
Well, at least you didn't mix up Mask and Gem because now I can't get out of my head.
That is a great mashup, though.
Once it sticks, it's stuck. That's it.
Chad, are you much of a singer? Because I'd love to see you do a cover of that on your channel.
I need to see it.
Or you know what? If you don't go on your channel, do it on mine. I'll take the views.
I'll do it. I don't give a shit. I'll do it.
Ken's always working.
Working overtime, fighting crime.
Fighting crime?
Not really.
In a future time.
Now there's another matchup. Kid video opening song. Thanks, Scuba Pete. I'll check that out. Hopefully it's recommended viewing or not. Either way is fine with me. So we're at the. Go on.
Hey, Gaz.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have some 4-inch Megaforce vehicles to show you soon.
Ooh, hey, did you see that? Did you see the Megaforce set? It's like $50 from Japan with like I guess $50 shipping.
Yeah, but the TACCOM, you're talking about the vehicles, right? The TACCOM is huge, and like everything's supposed to come out of the TACCOM. Like it's a little off. It's kind of weird, but mine are like 2 scale.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can't wait to see this.
I'll bust them out soon. They're almost done.
Can never have enough Megaforce stuff.
And then I'll get those Eagle Force figures, and we'll be good to go.
Oh yeah, can't wait.
According to Gargamel, Smurfs are magically delicious.
I mean, was Gargamel the bad guy, or were the Smurfs the bad guys? Were they an invasive species, or was he just an a-hole?
As I get older, I start to really relate to the people who are considered the bad guys.
Yeah,
it's like no, I can understand where these guys are coming from.
There's something with that Smurf berry juice. I'm telling you.
You know when I started cheering for the bad guys is when, if you ever watched How I Met Your Mother, long before Cobra Kai, Neil Patrick Harris always said that the Karate Kid was Johnny. It was not Daniel. He always said that. And back
Daniel's the bad guy.
I specifically saw that episode in 2014, though I know that the episode came out a few years earlier than that. But man, I could never unsee the whole bad guys are not the bad guys anymore. And then of course they went and made a Cobra Kai series and based the entire first season around Johnny. So it was like,
how Johnny explains it, and that is just perfect.
Yep.
This guy comes in, steals my girlfriend, punches me in the face.
Yeah. I'm in the bathroom, and he puts the hose on me at the dance. And then this old guy kicked my ass. Yeah.
He beat me He beats me for my championship at the All Valley Regional.
Took his girlfriend. Yeah. I did watch something on YouTube a little while ago before Cobra Kai came out, explaining how it would look as if Johnny is the bad guy. Johnny
bad guy,
Russo,
good guy. Oh no, Daniel LaRusso, the good
Daniel. Yeah, okay, whatever. Johnny's the good guy. Daniel's the bad guy. Yeah. But I watched that. I thought that was pretty cool. I guess they just incorporated it. Pound Puppies did not have an annoying theme. Surely not. The Snorks had an annoying theme. I have to go back. I can't really remember the Snorks thing.
Hans would know though.
He's like deep diving. He's like
he's going in. He's all in.
Pound Puppies are so cute and cuddly. That's the theme song, right? Pound Puppies are so cute and cuddly. Something, something, something coming by me. Pound Puppies, something, something, don't let me die. Something like that, right?
All I hear is My Buddy and Kid Sister. Right?
My Buddy.
I'm gonna mash up My Buddy and Gem. I'm gonna do it.
I think you can just mix everything with Gem. Just do a Gem mega mix.
Whoa, Thundercats, truly outrageous.
I didn't realize it was going to turn into karaoke.
Get to it. Let's go.
You gotta start it off with the Silverhawks theme song, that tally ho, and then go into the song.
Oh yeah. The Ewok cartoon theme song was ear wrenching. Get out of here, Han! Stop it! Stop it!
Anything with Ewoks is
really
truly.
You
disgusting.
shut your mouth.
Really?
Guys. I love Ewoks.
Yeah,
Wilford Brimley would disagree.
Damn those freaking fuzzy teddy bears for taking down the Empire.
And for some reason, they're Ewok feet. whatever the draw is for those. Jen was truly outrageous. All right, guys, we've gone over an hour. We've definitely gone off topic. I'm gonna call it here. Great hangout. Thanks, guys. I'll see you on the
Thank
next
you.
one.
Thanks for
Thank
inviting
you.
us.
Pew,
Thanks.
pew, pew. Mass
Bye, chat.
Crusaders working overtime, fighting crime.